Station, this is Houston on 2. You appear to be ready for the event. Monta, Loma Elementary, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check. Yeah.
This is Monta, Loma Elementary. How do you hear me?
Hi, folks. Hi, folks. We hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the International Space Station.
All right, let's get started with this event. Our first question comes from Ashley Lim, a 5th grade student.
How many people can live aboard the International Space Station?
Normally, we have 6 people living aboard the International Space Station. Sometimes we can go up a little higher for shorter periods of time, but basically we're designed for 6 people.
Our next question comes from Yuritsi Ruiz Garcia, another 5th grade student.
Is it hard to move around on the space station?
The answer is yes and no. As you can see, we can fly like superheroes. That's very convenient and it's very easy. But sometimes we lose balance and we have to stabilize ourselves holding something. So it's not so cool and it's not easy.
Our next question comes from another 5th grade student named Tylee Ramos.
Are you able to drink and eat normal, and does liquid behave differently?
We do eat and drink like normal, although it takes some special skills. You have to be very careful that you don't make a mess. And does liquid behave the same? I don't know. Can you do this on Earth? So fluid holds together with surface tension, and without gravity, it just turns into a sphere when it's floating around.
Our next question comes from Ella Dux, a 3rd grade student.
What's your favorite thing to do in space?
Yes, I like watching the Earth from the window, and I can watch the Earth changing, colors changing, and the clouds and everything is changing all the time. So I can watch the Earth all day long.
Our next question comes from Benny McKella, a 4th grade student.
Have you worked with spheres, and how do you control them?
I have not worked with spheres, but I have watched them, my crewmates work with spheres. And they are controlled automatically by programs and by folks on the ground. And they do experiments with each other to see if they can accomplish a mission to further our knowledge of how robotics work and in space.
Our next question comes from a 4th grade student named Peyton Jones.
What time zone do you use?
Actually, we are living on the Greenwich Mean Time, basically the same time as Britain. And right now we are 5:15 p.m. in the evening.
Our next question comes from Lucy Weidman, a 4th grade student.
How do you communicate with the Earth? Do you have a phone?
Sorry, I did not hear that question. Could you say that again?
How do you communicate with the Earth, and do you have a phone?
We communicate with the Earth. We have different ways to communicate. We have email, and we also have a telephone that we can talk through a satellite and over the internet to folks. And then every once in a while, we get to do a video conference, just like we're doing here. And for work, we have some operational loops, we call them. They're just radio frequencies that we talk to Earth through. But we have lots of ways to communicate.
The next question comes from Luke Torres, a 4th grade student.
What do you do in your free time?
We do lots of different things. We watch movies, we have fun with each other, and sometimes we play musical instruments.
Our next question comes from Emily Schreiner, a 3rd grade student.
What is your favorite part about being an astronaut? What is your favorite?
Yes. Yes. Being in space is, so much fun. So it's a great part of being an astronaut. And also, during the training, I travel all over the world. I have Russian friends, I have European friends, I have American friends, and it's a wonderful experience.
The next question will be from Frankie Bengtson, a 3rd grade student.
What do you do with your bathroom waste and other trash?
That's a very good question. Actually, we have a special tank to contain the solid waste and store inside the tank for a while and eventually trash it. And for the liquid waste, we have a water recycle system. And that liquid waste goes to the recycle system and become drinking water.
Our next question comes from Jack Spessler, a kindergartner.
Can you ever go outside of the space station?
We can go outside of the space station, but it's not like going outside at home. We can't just open the door and go out. We go out to do what we call spacewalks. And we have to put on a special suit that keeps us pressurized and safe. And it takes a lot of work.
Our next question is from Anya Artega, a 2nd grade student.
Can you see the Earth spinning? Can you see the Earth spinning?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. Since the space station is flying very, very high speed, actually we fly around the globe in 90 minutes, so very fast. So it's very hard to see the Earth is spinning. But I can tell, let's say, when we fly over the California during daytime, then next time we fly over the California could be nighttime. Then we can know, Earth is definitely spinning.
Our next question comes from Joseph Wu, a 1st grade student.
Well, some of the things that we can see just looking out the window with our eyes, we can see obviously the coastlines. We can see big, huge cities. We can see the continents. We can see big mountain ranges. We can see big bodies of water like the Great Salt Lake and the Great Lakes. We can see many features all over the world, like the Nile. We can see the Nile, big rivers. We can see the Mississippi, big things like that.
Our next question comes from Aiden Ashford, a 4th grade student.
My question is, what is your favorite science experiment that you're doing on space station?
Yes, since I am a medical doctor, I am interested in the medical experiments. We do a blood draw, we collect saliva, we collect urine, and examine how human body changes while living in space. That's very interesting to me.
The next question will come from Eleanor Nanavati, a 4th grade student.
How do you handle emergencies? Would you have to evacuate the space station?
Well, we plan for emergencies to happen, and we think through them, and we train very hard before we get here so that nothing catches us by surprise. But most of the time, if there's an emergency, we'll just work through the emergency and safe the vehicle. We'll make sure everything's safe, and then we'll try to see what the plan forward could be. But if the emergency is so bad that we can't make it safe anymore, we would get into our Soyuz vehicles and come home. We would evacuate ISS.
Our next question comes from Desmond Taylor, a kindergarten student.
Do you have to do any chores in space?
Of course, yes. During a weekend, we have to clean entire space station every weekend. And also, we have to organize staff because in the space station, we have lots of experiment, lots of equipment, and we have to organize all the time.
Our next question comes from Tommy Skihan, a 2nd grade student.
What advice would you give to a student that wants to become an astronaut?
Well, first, I would say that it is absolutely possible and likely that you could become an astronaut if you work really hard for that goal. So the first thing you need to do is to do really well at school, and then pick a discipline or a subject that you really like to study in science, technology, engineering, or math, and then do really well at it. And I can tell by listening to you that I think that's what you're going to do.
Our next question comes from Braxton Ryan, a 5th grade student.
How do you grow food in space?
Yes, very interesting question. It is very difficult to grow the food necessary to live in space. But as an experiment, we are actually growing vegetables. And in a couple of weeks, we will harvest and eat it. And I can't wait.
I'm really looking forward to hearing this next question. It comes from Celeste Dollar, a 1st grade student.
Can you do a long
You bet I can. Watch this.
Pretty impressive. Our next question comes from Nate Larson, a 5th grade student.
You see 16 sunrises and sunsets every day. How do you know when to go to bed?
That's a good question. Actually, of course, we have clocks, so we can tell, okay, this is time to go sleep, or this is time to get up. But we also have the natural clock inside our body, which is called the circadian rhythm. So although we are living in the artificial lighting inside the space station, the human body knows this is the exact time to wake up, this is the time to sleep. So we can also research that kind of body clock.
This will be our last student question from Aiden Castaneda, a 2nd grade student.
Do you have any robots on space stations that help you do your job?
We have a couple of robotic machines that we use to do our job. We have a robotic arm that is outside the space station, built by Canada, and we use these panels, or these control modules, or controls here to control the arm with, especially when we're doing spacewalks and things outside. The Japan on their module has a robotic arm, and we also have the SPDM, which is an extension of the arm, and it helps us kind of do some finer, detailed things with the robots. But today, I actually controlled a robot in Munich from the space station through an iPad and an internet connection. It was absolutely amazing.
I would like to thank both of you astronauts for answering all of our students' questions here in Monta Loma at Mountain View, California.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from Monta Loma Elementary Station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.